Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I hope you're having an amazing start to the week. We are going to be looking at the birth charts of Tana Mongeau and Trisha Paytas. It's my guilty pleasure, you guys. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I love their podcast. It is my happy content that I put on when I need something in the background, when I'm doing laundry. They are usually on my TV, okay? So now you know a little something about me. Now, what I, of course, naturally am curious about whenever I am drawn to a certain content creator, specifically when there is a friendship or a relationship that just seems to click, I'm too curious. Like, I have to know the birth charts. I have to know what are the birth chart connections? Like, why is this connection so powerful? And when we look at the birth charts, it can reveal so much, particularly when we do it using Jan Spiller's cosmic love technique, which helps us to see past life connections. And the reason that I went beyond the regular synastry and I had to look into past life connections and soul contracts and all that, I mean, it gets intense, you guys. This is the serious stuff. I had to do it because if you also have seen the podcast that they share, not Loveline, or any of the podcasts where they've gone on each other's shows, you can see that there is just this deep bond between the two of them. There is a natural understanding. There is this, honestly, like unconditional love and true friendship that you can just see radiating off the screen. It is rare. It is something that doesn't happen every day. And immediately, when I just got that vibe from them, I was like, there's got to be some sort of soul contract. There's got to be a reason that they're in each other's lives. So we're going to see the the reason, the soul promise. We're going to look deeply into their birth charts. So let's. Oh wait, but I forgot. But before we do that, you guys, before we do that, I hate to do this to you, but I know you guys want to know too. So we're going to just spill a little quick tea on Justin Bieber because over the weekend, Justin Bieber was doing some creative live streaming. And I did want to touch on the transits that are happening for him in his birth chart, which could explain some of this kind of erratic behavior. Fans are definitely really worried, and I think rightfully so. I'll try to find a little clip of that stream and see if I can insert it here if you guys are watching this in video format. I mean, yeah, it's concerning. It seems like, is he on something allegedly? What's going on? Over the weekend, we had a lot of activity going on in Aries with the Aries solar eclipse, the new moon solar eclipse happening on the 29th. And then on the 30th, we have we had Neptune moving from Pisces into the zodiac sign of Aries. And because we have Justin Bieber's birth chart, so fantastic, we can see precisely how this impacts his birth chart. So, first of all, when you look at Justin Bieber's birth chart, you see that his sixth house is ruled by Aries. That's a huge deal. The sixth house is your health, your well being, your daily routines, the things you do to stay healthy and grounded as you move through your life. It is about the way you spend your time, it's about what you do. It is also across from the 12th house of mental health. Okay, so I believe it's April 13th. There is going to be a lunar eclipse in Libra, which contains Justin's moon. And I do think that if anything serious is going on to where maybe, for example, he would decide to go to rehab or something, we will see evidence of that pretty close to that lunar eclipse in Libra in his 12th house of mental health and spirituality. We'll see that in April, mid-April, let's say. So, or it could even be the end of April, but I would say mid to the end of April. We're going to see it. I mean, it's possible that it could be unfolding in the 6 months that follow because that is how lunar and solar eclipses work. But I feel like with him, he's moving at such an accelerated rate and also going through a Saturn return. I could see it being like really close to that eclipse. So we'll see. Definitely sending him love, saying all the prayers, sending him all the good vibes, because when you have all of this activity in your sixth house and your 12th house, it's really highlighting you and the way you take care of yourself. I mean, this astrology in the wild moment, like to me, if anybody was skeptical, like it proves astrology is real. I mean, truly, like if someone is, quote unquote, crashing out, having activity highlighting their sixth house and 12th house just basically explains that they need to take a new approach to their mental health and to their daily physical health. That means cutting out any substances that are not good for them, getting into a daily routine. It could be going to therapy or doing journaling. Whatever it is for him, this is like needing to have a real stripping away of all of the things that are causing this chaos and this confusion. He needs to get back to basics. The sixth house is naturally ruled by the zodiac sign of Virgo. So, in order for him to, or for anyone actually, this goes for all of us, for anyone to experience more success when it comes to your sixth house of day to day routines and health, you want to think like a Virgo. Okay. And as a Virgo sun with my Mercury in Virgo and a former fitness instructor, I can tell, and a meditation teacher. Okay. As part of the fitness instructing, I can speak with authority on this. Basically, what you need to do if you find yourself in this place is you need to just go back to basics and get down to your daily habits. And what that means is getting, 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night, drinking your water, cutting out sugar, cutting out substances, cutting out fried foods, eating healthy whole foods, taking vitamins, getting at least 30 minutes of cardio, even if it's just like going for a walk, lifting weights to build your muscle, like basically getting back to treating your body the way that we all know ideally we're supposed to treat ourselves, because Virgo rules healing and health and well-being, and there is information and evidence out there that explains to us how we can be healthy. So if I were Justin's astrologer, I would say, okay, we need to find a really reputable fitness coach, fitness and health coach, and a doctor who will help you with your diet and nutrition. Because actually, when you're going through a lot of stress, and he is with his Saturn return and Neptune moving from his natal Pisces, fifth house of creativity, where he has his Sun, Venus, and Saturn moving into his Aries ruled sixth house. This is basically turning up the heat. Okay, you guys, it's turning up the heat. So I would say this is a hard time in his life. All right. We're not going to sugarcoat it. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. I rarely see someone with this difficult of a transit happening all at once, but because his Saturn return impacts his Venus, Saturn, and Sun, it's intense. It's a lot. Like your Saturn return is your coming of age. And I think there's been with Neptune there for the past 14 years, by the way, for all of us, Neptune and Pisces, for him, there was a certain amount of confusion and like delusion that it's like a comfortable haze, but something about Neptune's move into Aries in his sixth house, it's basically unveiling the last of what he needs to see that's been preventing him from being the person that he is growing into as an adult, because Saturn is coaching him, wanting him to be disciplined and to have this more serious approach to matters of love, creativity, and his own ego. It's heavy, y'all. It's really heavy. Neptune, while it can be confusing, we've all heard that ignorance is bliss, right? Well, once Neptune moves into Aries for the next 14 years, ignorance will no longer be something that he is able to claim. This is basically truths being revealed, or maybe just he's able to see more clearly. And if he doesn't focus on his mental and physical health, it's going to be really tough. Okay. So that's what I'm going to say about Justin. So for anyone who is worried about him or concerned, I would say your intuition is correct. And the astrology does confirm that, yes, he's going through a time of greater clarity, which sometimes it's darkest before the dawn, right? So I think that we're going to see a lot of new beginnings for him in the next few months, this spring, this summer. Um, yeah. So sending him love, and we'll pull just a couple cards for him just while we're here, and then we'll talk about Tana and Trisha. I had to look at this, and then once I saw the astrology, I was like, I've got to talk about it on the podcast. That's insane. It's like astrology in the wild. So yeah, he is working through this stuff actively right now, and it is intense having but hopefully this is the start of a new beginning in that sixth house. Maybe this is going to be a wake up call that he needed. Okay. And then the 12th house will be letting go. So could be letting go of substances, things that are not good for him in that mental health house. So, okay. The card for Justin at this time. 8 of Cups, yep, walking away, we keep getting this energy from and 100% walking away. I forgot to mention that the North Node has also been in his Pisces 5th house conjunct Saturn. I mean, guys, this is one of the most difficult transits I've ever seen anyone go through, and I'm not just saying that because it's him. It's like, this is really crazy. Like, I really hope he's got some Virgos around him that can help him with that 6th house daily routine, and I hope that involves 8 of Cups energy walking away from anyone who's bringing substances into his life, anyone who has any sort of agenda. He's gotta get away from them. He really has to, and if you have to be a little bit of a Virgo hermit for a while, and get to know yourself, that's okay. That's okay. Reading books, like, I'm serious, like, get back to basics. Read books, get into your health, get into your well-being. Yeah, but 8 of Cups, he's gonna be walking away from certain people, places, or things. Makes sense. Oops. Okay, and then positive outcome, best possible outcome for him if he chooses, the things that are in his best interest. Best possible outcome, the 9 of Pentacles. Yes, I love this. I love this card so much. Ending a negative cycle to begin a positive new cycle. 9 energy is about an ending and a new that opens the door to a new beginning. That's very positive. Pentacles is stability, and 9 of Pentacles, this person is happy and stable and at peace and satisfied with their life and really enjoying themselves. This is the ideal outcome for him. So he has to keep choosing the right thing, and they'll end up here. Okay. And then on the other hand, by the way, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. On the other hand, if he were to not choose the higher path, what would be the outcome? We all have choices, right? The 10 of Cups, this has to do with his marriage and family. Let's get a clarifier on this 10 of Cups. The Tower. Wow. You guys, when the tarot tea is the tarot tea is talking, as I like to say, the tarot tea is talking. That is crazy. Wow. If he chooses the lower path, it will be the ending of his marriage and possibly, breaking up his family. That really makes a lot of sense. So let's hope that he chooses this 9 of Pentacles and we are sending him love. And man, I just hope that he pays attention to his mental health and physical health. It's so, so important for all of us, but especially for him at this time while he's going through this incredibly difficult transit. Okay, now we're going to look at the birth charts of Tana Mongeau and Trisha Paytas, their past life contracts, their soul life contracts. And again, you guys, this is using Jan Spiller's Cosmic Love book and her tool that's online where you can enter in the information and interpret your birth chart with, a significant other, a good friend, a family member, whomever. So for this is a soul friends thing. I mean, truly, these two are soul friends. They're in each other's lives for a reason. They have found each other for a reason. I'm going to try to find some cute clips of them talking about each other and their connection, just so that you guys can get a little taste if you're not super like familiar with them or their connection. But it's wild. It's like really, truly two people that support and love each other. So let's look at what their past life contracts could be that would, create such a positive connection. So for their north nodes, let's start there because that is our destiny, our soul purpose. That's what we're working on in this lifetime. And for Tana, she's actually a Virgo north node person. And that makes so much sense because her early life, which is your south node, it's always right across from your north node, which would be Pisces. So growing up, she was surrounded by Pisces energy, which is a lack of boundaries, a lack of direction, a lack of guidance. She's talked about all of that happening with her upbringing, which was really difficult. Also, a lot of substance use, substance abuse. Pisces energy, especially when it's your south node, if there's a lot of that energy around you, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. We were just talking about that with Justin Bieber. I mean, very similar energy. It's just the energy of no boundaries, confusion, and kind of like in drowning in confusion, feeling like you're drowning in your emotions. And it can be associated with substance use. And she has spoken about having those issues in the past and also being around that growing up and dealing with a lot of neglect, a lot of confusion, really feeling like she was on her own. So, in this life, and the older that she has gotten, we see the more disciplined she has become. She has been sober for periods of time. She is not doing the same things that she used to do. She had so many scandals in her 20s and her early 20s and late teens where she got this reputation of, not being reliable and always being late, having that TanaCon event. I was like, what is the name of that? That TanaCon event that everyone knows, went terribly. And she was really traumatized by that. Well, fast forward over the past couple of years, really, she has grown into this Virgo North Node energy and she is giving Virgo North Node wholesomeness. Like we see it. She has shifted her approach. She is now able to be consistent. She has two podcasts now. She is not doing all of these other side quests, these side ventures that require a lack of boundaries, a lack of focus. She seems very, very focused right now on her relationship and with her boyfriend and on this work that she's doing. She seems like she's very serious about work and about showing up and being there. And that is Virgo energy. Virgo is about healing and working hard and taking care of your health and well-being. So I wouldn't be surprised if the older she gets, the more she gets into that Virgo energy of health and wellness. Just wait, watch it unfold, you guys. I know it's going to be wild, but like we may even see her being someone that shares her daily routine and she like starts getting into like protein powders and weightlifting. Like, just saying, that's the road she's on. Okay. And then Trisha, this is so interesting and this makes so much sense. Trisha is actually the opposite. She has her south node in Virgo and her north node in Pisces, meaning that as a child, there could have been this perfectionistic tendency where it's like she always felt like she needed to be perfect, always felt like she needed to be better than just the way she is. And she's talked about that. She talked about body image issues. That's a very Virgo thing, by the way. She talked about body image issues growing up. She's talked about weight issues. She's talked about never feeling good enough, struggling with her eating, just struggling with all those things that Virgo rules. It's your day-to-day routines, it's your fitness, your health, your well-being, and definitely when there is a concentration of Virgo energy, there can be this tendency to be critical of yourself and others. She definitely went through that. She talks about how, before, pre pre like her marriage and, mommy era where she had these babies and now a very successful podcast and touring and all this stuff she's doing now, before that, she definitely struggled with some of the same things that Tana struggled with, just in a little bit of a different way. And so it makes sense that they both have been on this journey to perfect, not perfect, but to balance Pisces and Virgo energy. So it's like healing, but also trust and dreams and goals and dreaminess, but also learning to have structure at the same time. So for Trisha, it was almost like in the beginning, probably a little too much structure that she put on herself because Virgos, when they don't feel good enough, on the darker side, when you're learning those lessons, when it's your south node, you have to be very careful that you don't criticize like every little thing about yourself to the point where you make yourself miserable, right? And then you can turn to substances because you just don't ever feel good enough. So the substances can be an escape. And then at the same time, when you're critical of yourself, you can also become critical of others. And she talks a lot about how she used to be very snarky about people online. She was always like getting angry and criticizing different people. And she's even said, on her current podcast, Just Trish, where she has tried to be, much more positive and much more optimistic and not critical of people or not as critical of people in the way that she used to be. She said that she's like, "I don't know why I was so angry or like what I was so upset about." And that very much talks about the transition of going from a very heavy Virgo South node to a Pisces North node. For Trisha, that is very obvious when we look at her journey, when we look at what she's doing. She's also talked about manifestation and how she has manifested everything. That is Pisces North Node to a T. When you have a Pisces North Node, you are here to get away from that Virgo energy of being overly critical, very structured. And instead of like relying on that and building your whole life around those Virgo tendencies of perfectionism, instead, you're meant to take what you've learned, the positive side of Virgo, which is self love, healing. She talks about her healing journey, being a healer for others. She's talked about that, how she wants to help others as well. Being a healer for others, taking the good that comes with that. Also, the positive parts of Virgo being structured, like sticking to a daily routine, showing up on time. Like those are good things, right? We can keep the good without going to extremes, which would be, perfectionism and overly critical. So it's keeping the good things about Virgo, leaving the negative behind, and incorporating Pisces North Node themes like manifestation. And if you combine the Pisces North Node manifestation with the Virgo talents of consistent work ethic, showing up, being a force of love, being a healer for yourself and for others, that is the formula for success. And I do think that that is why she's had a huge career glow up, because she has stepped into the balance between her Pisces North Node and Virgo South Node. And what's interesting about Tana and Trisha is that when you meet someone that has the opposite North Node to your North Node and the opposite South Node to your South Node, you each have lessons and gifts that the other person needs. I actually have a friend like this who's also a professional contact, and she is the person that I go to for advice when I really need like good advice about what to do next in my life. It is so crazy. It's because that person has the knowledge that you're seeking, and vice versa. You have the knowledge that they're seeking because you've already mastered the South Node that is their North Node, and they've already mastered the South Node that is your North Node. And so we definitely see this in friendships a lot. It works really well in friendships. I think it works better in friendships than in romantic relationships, but hey, I wouldn't rule it out. But when it comes to friendships, this is such a positive placement. And it makes so much sense why they understand each other and also motivate each other. Because if someone else is demonstrating your North Node, then it shows you that it's possible. And by emulating some of the things that they do, you can actually get closer to your North Node and learn the soul lessons that you're here to learn, which is energizing and exciting. Definitely a good person to work with, like in a professional setting. Definitely a good person to spend time with. So, wow. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Like astrology in the wild. Okay. And then, by the way, and on the other hand, they will understand your South Node pains, your past life pains, the things of your from your childhood that have felt confusing, and they can actually offer advice, insight, and comfort that will help you to overcome those things and keep the good from your South Node, and take that with you on your North Node journey. But they can also help you leave behind some of the pain and trauma just by simply understanding you, by being able to validate your feelings and understand you. It's like they just kind of get you. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my God, I love it. Okay. So there's that. And then next, if we look at the houses, now this part's really fun. So the houses tell you the purpose of two people in one another's lives. So basically it's like the gifts that one brings to the other and vice versa. So let's start with Trisha. The gifts that Trisha brings to Tana, we can tell this by where her North Node falls. And her North Node falls in Tana's ninth house, meaning that Trisha's natural, just simply by being around Tana, her natural impact on Tana has to do with positively expanding Tana's ninth house of what she believes is possible. Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? So the ninth house is like a very wonderful, like house of travel and expansion and philosophy and expanding the mind and understanding different people's points of view. So simply by being in Tana's life, Trisha inspires Tana to think about things a little bit differently, to see the world from a different perspective, and also to put out more content. So, the ninth house is about international publishing as well as travel and philosophy. So, they definitely publish their podcasts internationally, as all podcasts are for the most part. It's interesting that they would create something together that would be popular around the world. And I'm sure that it is. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So interesting. So she helps Tana to explore new philosophies, new ways of thinking, new sides to herself. And I would say this could even be when it comes to Tana's healing with that Virgo North Node. This could be helping her to come up with new ideas and inspiration around, being on time, her daily routine, and also building a healthy relationship with her significant other. Maybe even, thinking of family planning. Virgos are very family oriented. So this could possibly be pointing to that being a part of Tana's journey and destiny. And maybe Trisha helps to model for Tana how she can do those things in her life. And that, like, oh, if I could do it, you can do it, that kind of thing. So, yeah, expanding the ninth house, very, very positive. And I think that that's so accurate. And then the gifts that Tana brings to Trisha have to do with Tana's North Node falling in Trisha's 12th house. Wow, you guys, this is deep. This is really deep. Okay. The 12th house is your dreams, the unconscious, your mental health, those mental patterns that sometimes we're not even aware of. So, simply by being in Trisha's life, Tana highlights for Trisha different things that Trisha will like notice that she does, or like biases that she's had, or things that she's done. It's sort of like holding up a mirror to someone's soul. I know, crazy. Makes sense why they get each other, right? The 12th house is like, it's just this unconscious, these like unconscious patterns and these thoughts and these feelings that sometimes we're not even aware of. So when someone holds up that mirror, there is this understanding that goes like beyond words. It goes beyond this life. And it's someone truly understanding who you are on a soul level. And by the way, whatever gift one person brings to the other, when they do this effectively, they actually receive the same back, because everything we give comes back to us. So as Trisha expands Tana's ninth house of philosophy and publishing and these like new ideas, the same happens for her. Tana has that effect back on her. Spending time with her also does the same. She receives that energy back. And then with Trisha's 12th house, it's like they both receive a mental health boost from each other, but it's more so concentrated with the one who's receiving it, the house person. So for Trisha, it's like her 12th house is really being highlighted. So Tana being in her life makes Trisha feel seen, makes her feel, good enough. And I think it helps to heal any of the remaining confusions or patterns or anything that maybe she still has had there that's been a worry for her. Tana helps her to put that to rest and helps her to feel that it's okay, that she's worthy. It's a really beautiful connection to have with someone. And it definitely indicates soul family, in my opinion. Okay, so that is your 12th house of spirituality. Also, fun fact, because the 12th house is like spirituality and dreams and mental health and things that are unseen, it also rules manifestation. So I think that it also Tana validates Trisha's manifestation, and they can manifest amazing things together that are bigger and better than either would have done on their own. Very beautiful. Okay. And then if we look at their past life contracts, what's interesting is they only have one past life contract. And it is literally the most beautiful, most positive past life contract you could ever have with somebody. It is a North Node Jupiter conjunction. I mean, are we serious? So the North Node, as we've been talking about, this is who we're becoming. This is basically the reason that we incarnated into this life. So it's so that we could learn the North Node lessons and embody the highest version of that North Node zodiac sign, while also taking all those past life lessons with us from the South Node and using those gifts, using those skills to help us get ahead in life as we, work towards that North Node, pretty much. When you have Jupiter conjunct someone's North Node or conjunct your own North Node, Jupiter is luck, gifts, and expansion. Someone who activates your North Node with Jupiter energy, this is like your lucky star. I mean, they are one another's lucky star. They truly do push each other to be the person that they were each meant to be in this world. And it is so amazing. I knew that they were going to have great soul connections, but I didn't know it was going to be this amazing. Like, wow. It honestly, it's all making sense. So beautiful, so amazing. I would actually love to read both of their birth charts. So let's manifest that together, you guys. It would be so amazing. But I love it, you guys. So basically, they are a good luck charm for one another. The more they do things together in a way that is balanced, they have to stay balanced because of that Virgo Pisces energy. They got to stay structured, balanced while they manifest, while they are creative. And if they can balance each other out and continue on this positive path, what they will accomplish together is limitless. They could really do anything. They could really create and do anything, and also be a force of healing in the world, healing through creativity because of this collective Virgo Pisces North Node energy that they have. So beautiful, so amazing. Definitely they are doing the right thing by working together with Jupiter there. I can't get over it. I will never get over it. Okay. Tana and Trisha's composite north node. This is the last, and honestly, one of the most important things, because the composite north node is basically the energy that you create together. So this is based on a theory in astrology that we each have our own birth charts, but then when you combine your chart with someone else's chart, there's a third chart that's created. This is the energy that you create together. This very unique blend of energies that only you two can create. And their special flavor of energy is Gemini in the 10th house. Can you guys believe this? Gemini, of course, is communication. Hello, podcasting together, creating content together. Talking, sharing their ideas, talking back and forth, exploring their philosophies on life. Ninth house, their mental health and their own personal journey, their soul growth, their manifestation practices. 12th house, all things they talk about on their podcast, not Loveline. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. But their purpose is Gemini in the 10th house, which is the 10th house is the house of career and public image. So they are meant to communicate. They are meant to podcast together. They are meant to do exactly what they're doing right now. And with Jupiter there, with that Jupiter North Node conjunction, they are going to help each other reach their highest soul purpose, which we love to see it. We should all be so lucky to have a friend like that. So how fun is that, you guys? All right. Well, I love you so much. I just wanted to share that with you guys, do a fun little deep dive. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I will see you very soon in an all new video. If you guys have not yet joined the Patreon and you want more bonus content, please join the Patreon. We're having so much fun over there. And of course, be sure that you keep up with be sure to turn on notifications over on YouTube, because I do live streams every single week and I would love to chit chat with you in there. All right, guys, I love you. Take care.